Hey, what's going on, everyone? Happy Friday and welcome to a special edition of WST Winners. Super Bowl 60 is Sunday. The New England Patriots, the Seattle Seahawks, and the biggest betting day of the year over at Coolbet.com. It's great to have you with us. We're going to make our picks for the game and then get into our annual prop draft for the Super Bowl. One Jake Bolin Moss is shining up his title belt from last year. He's got his Patriots hat on, ready for his team, and Pat and I are here to spoil the party. And, of course, Connor Rabchak's here as well. Let's bring in the fellas from Coolbet, Jake Bolin Moss, Pat Gregoire. Boys, it's been a great season. I can't believe there is just one game remaining.
It's sad, man. It's sad. The Super Bowl is one of the most joy-filled days of the year. It's about friendship. It's about celebrating what an amazing year it was. It's about food. It's about sports betting. But when the confetti starts falling down, that actually symbolizes that we're without football for a very long time. There's only a finite amount of football left, and it's a full game, 4 quarters. That's all we're guaranteed, fellas. And I know it means a little more for one of the people here in this draft, but let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy the ride. Let's cash some tickets. Let's have some fun, because it's going to be a little while until we can talk football again.
Well, Jake, we see your hat. Your team is back in the big game. The Patriots are once again a relevant NFL franchise, and they're not just relevant, they're in the big game. Where are you at this week here? 2 sleeps away from kickoff in Super Bowl 60 with the Pats back in the big game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited, pretty nervous. It's gonna be an interesting game for sure. I think Seattle's definitely all around the better team, but preparation, guys who have been there before, getting this team ready to go. I believe in Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels. Obviously, the spread shows you kind of what the odds makers think of this game. I think it's understandable, but I'm not counting out my guys until that last whistle goes. But, Patty's onto something. That Monday after the Super Bowl is one of the saddest days of the year.
Number one.
But I will say, and I talked about Remus this 2 weeks ago. Next year, boys, the Super Bowl is set up to be on a long weekend with the Monday off, so you probably don't have any work next Super Bowl Monday.
Is that done?
That's the way it's showing that it's lined up, Huss. Unless they're changing the date of the Super Bowl for next year, it shows that it lines up a weekend later, which would be next weekend. And we have Family Day here. I believe you guys have a different holiday in Winnipeg, but nonetheless, I do think next Super Bowl Sunday you might have maybe a couple extra pops, because you have the Monday off, from what I can see on the schedule.
I mean, listen, I'm a proponent of days off and good times, obviously. But this February holiday was it's a made-up holiday. How we didn't proactively put it the Monday after the Super Bowl, I have no idea. And it would be incredible for Canadians to be one step ahead of our friends south of the border in getting that consistent holiday the day after the Super Bowl. But that's awesome. Now, I knew that they were going to basically jig the schedule a little bit, but we just need that to line up. It would be a big, big step forward for society as a whole if we had the day off afterwards. So that isn't the case this year. But, man, we've got a hell of a game. Now, listen, couple things right off the bat. We're going to get into our annual playoff prop draft in a minute. First off, though, we're going to make our picks against the spread. We'll update you on the spread, the total. And then at 11 o'clock when we finish, stick with us, because we are going to rip over to some really cool content that was filmed down in Florida with the boys. Svenny, our guy, Adam Svensson from the PGA Tour, going mano a duo with Walks, Andrew Walker, and Brett Lawther of the Grey Cup champs. So stick around for that. It's nice to think golf. It's nice to get those Florida vibes. We'll have that for you on the Coolbet YouTube channel right after the program. But guys, before we dive into the draft, let's hit the game. As we go live Friday morning, The spread has been really solid. I know we've talked about this throughout the week on the show. The game dropped at 3.5 right after the NFC Championship game, and within 5 or 10 minutes, it went from 3.5 to 4.5, and it's basically been there all week long, minus a couple of blips to 4 yesterday, and then immediately right back to 4.5. I haven't seen the total move at all. So as we make our picks today, official picks for the Super Bowl, the spread is Seattle minus 4.5. The total is 45.5. And the money line, which has been pretty steady as well, Seahawks minus 227, and the Pats to pull off the upset plus 190 on the money line. Jake, your team's in the big game. And you've been very good this. I will say this: you've actually had your team win, and yet opponents cover on a couple of occasions so far. Will there be a happiness hedge in the big game for JBM, or are you taking the Pats? How do you like this one going down?
Yeah, I mean, it was easy to happiness hedge when the Pats were the favorites. You know, you can still win a football game and not cover, and in that scenario, in this one, you know, I don't think I'll be taking Seattle minus the 4.5 Huss. If anything, I'm playing this money line. Like the team is playing to win. So yeah, listen, you know, if you like the Pats, but you don't think they're going to win this game, I can understand taking the 4.5. See if you get a close game and get the cover. I think the way I'd play this myself is Pats on the money line. What was the number on the money line? Oh, 198. This thing jumped around last night.
It did just as we're talking about it. It went to plus 198, but it's been pretty steady at plus 190. But again, if you want to get the Patriots right now, it's a plus 198, so you can get a bit.
It seems like what happens is it'll jump up to that on better number, might get a little action, and then drop back down. Like last night, I sat here and I was going through my picks. And, you know, it was 190, and then, you know, I'm looking around. Then it was 198. Then it was 202. Then all of a sudden it was back down to 190. It just keeps moving around. So, yeah, depending on the time of day when you're looking, you might get a better number if you are betting the Patriots, you know, or whether you want to bet the Seahawks.
I love the Seahawks in this game. And you know, as we talked about, I did get the benefit of the early line right out of the gate at 3.5. But as we'll get into the picks, I don't mind it at 4.5 as well. I mean, here's as I look at this, and listen, I got a lot of respect for New England. I think Mike Vrabel's incredible. And what they've done to get here, I mean, yeah, for sure, we can take shots at their cupcake schedule and who they had to play in the playoffs. But, I mean, that's not their fault. They're here. But much has been made of the fact that this team has gone through three of the top 5 defenses to get to the Super Bowl. It's the first time it's ever been done. And it's notable and it's worthwhile to talk about. What I don't think people have talked about enough is just how pedestrian the offense has been against those 3 defenses to get here. I mean, it's not like they've been carving up these top defenses. They've been surviving in a couple of different ways, benefiting from CJ Stroud and, you know, a terrible call by Sean Payton that probably completely changes the game script if they go up 10. It's not taking anything away from the Patriots. It's just that if they can't do a heck of a lot more offensively against this top-ranked Seattle defense than they did in the last couple, I think Seattle's going to be getting theirs, unlike Denver and unlike Houston. So I will be laying the points with the Seahawks. And for what it's worth, I'm not sure whether this will get into one of the picks. But I do think there'll be some points scored in this game. And I will probably lean to the over on the 45.5. Patty, as far as the game overall goes, where are you at on the spread and the total?
Oh, Huss, you kind of laid it out there nicely. But what I will say, and I said it on WST last night, I think there's 2 game scripts and 2 ways that this game finishes. I think it's either the Seahawks win going away, and we're talking about a 2-score game, or maybe even something uglier than that. I'm sorry, Jake. But here, I'll get you back here, Jake, with some others. The other way this ends is Patriots winning in a close game. Like, if it is a close game, Patriots are going to find a way to win this game. That's just what this organization does. That's what Drake May has done all season long. That's what Mike Vrabel has done his entire career as a coach. So that's the only two ways I see it. So you think that if you're going to bet the Patriots, and right now it's at +4.5, just bet them. Bet them to win on the money line, to be quite honest, because I think if it's within a field goal, it's going to be the Patriots that are kicking that field goal. And if you're with the Seahawks, honestly, I am thinking about it. I don't really love the 4.5 number. I might throw an alternate line out there, to be quite honest, but I think I stay away from a side. I think I'm staying away from the total because I think it's too volatile. So what I will do is what we're doing here today is absolutely nuking the board with props.
That would be very out of character for you, Pat. Never happened before. Listen, we are going to be going 4 ways for our Super Bowl prop draft. Let's bring in our own Connor Rabchak, who is also doing doing his producer duties. Connor, I know you had to, as a long-time Niner fan, you had to suffer between your two biggest rivals going at it,
man,
in the NFC Championship game. 1 down, 1 to go. Your division nemesis, the Seahawks, the favorites, going up against this upstart Patriots team. But just general thoughts on the game and the pick against the spread.
Yeah, Huss. I know Jake might not happiness hedge this, but I might, because if the Seahawks win on the Niners' home turf, that wouldn't be fun. So I'm going to be cheering for the Patriots, but it's kind of like my heart is saying the Patriots, but my head is saying the Seahawks. I do think that even at the 4.5 number, I do like the Seahawks in this game. I agree with you, Huss. I think there are going to be more points scored in this game when looking at the total, and that people might think kind of thing, but I'm on the Seahawks, even at 4.5. I'm jealous, Huss, that you got them at 3.5. I think that's a really good number. I like the over. And I like Pat's kind of thing of, yeah, if it's a blowout, I like the Seahawks. If it's a close game, I maybe like the Patriots. And unfortunately, I think this one, not that the Patriots aren't a good football team. I mean, they've earned their way here, but I just think the Seattle Seahawks are battle tested. They went up against the Rams and beat them. And I think the Rams are a better team than the Patriots. So I like the Seahawks in this game.
All right. Well, and it has been interesting that we really haven't seen any significant movement. I'm not sure. Pat, do you have any thought? I mean, it clipped to 4 literally for a couple minutes, like twice yesterday. For big games like this, there'll be a ton of action coming in over the next 48 hours. Do you see this moving at all, or are we probably going to be getting to kickoff with this thing pretty much solid at 4.5?
It's going to be 4.5, maybe. Maybe it moves to 4. I think we're pretty well where we're going to be. Like I mentioned before, if any sharp money is coming on the Patriots, I think it's going to be coming on the money line. And it looks that's kind of the way it has. We've seen more tickets on Seattle on the money line, but that's also including like your money line parlays. I think bet builders as well. But there have been more significant money, almost double the amount of money has been on the Patriots with less tickets. So that usually tells you sharp money coming in on the Patriots on the money line. Don't get too excited, Jake.
All right. It is fun, though. If you do like Seattle and you don't want to lay the juice, but you're kind of thinking minus 227 is a little bit much. It is a long standard rite of passage just to bet the Super Bowl winner along with a variety of other random outcomes. I am looking at a plus 217 Seahawks money line Canada to win the gold medal at the Olympics parlay and some others. But for the sake of our activities today, we're locking in on our favorite bets. There is, I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 markets for this, Jake. It really had to pare them down for something like this because there's no shortage of options right up now at Coolbet. And just before you hit that, if you missed it on WST, gang, we've got a special little offer for you WSTers. I know most of you have used the WST promo code when you joined Coolbet and started off for the first time for the 100% deposit. Well, guess what? We're hooking you up again. It's Super Bowl 60. If you want to make a deposit, we'll double that bonus up to $60. So go into Coolbet, do your deposit in the promo code. When you make that deposit of up to $60, use the promo code WST60, WST SB60, and that's 60 or up to $60 will get doubled by Pat and Jakey. And as I say, plenty of options to put it down on with the amount of markets. This has to be a record for Coolbet. It's insane.
Yeah, there's so many different. Sorry, go ahead, Jake.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's like last night I had to sit there and just go through each tab and kind of sift through. Okay, yeah, I like that. Okay, I like that, and you're not going to probably bet them all, but you're going to bet as many as you like and just try to enjoy it. Obviously, be responsible. Don't bet any more than you're capable of losing, and just try to enjoy the Super Bowl for as big of a sporting event as it is, for the entire year.
Well, and listen, if you want to be someone that makes just a bunch of $10 bets, as they say, you put in the 60, you get the extra 60, and you're doubling up on your chances of winning and action for the big game. All right, so let's get into the prop draft. This is the way it's going to work. We've just tweaked it slightly. We've added an extra pick from last year. We didn't want it to end too early. We will all be picking an anytime touchdown score. We will all be picking a player prop. It can be a yardage prop. It can be a receptions. It could be an attempts. Basically anything outside of a touchdown, because we have the touchdown category. Also, I mean, there's so many different options for this game. We will take a long shot bet, and just the definition of that is anything 6-1 or more. And then one of the novelty bets, and we won't go through them all, but there's props on Bad Bunny. There are props on the national anthem, the post game, as far as the Gatorade, who the MVP is going to announce, numbers of viewers for the game, and then specials, including TD celebration theme, a Bill Belichick prop, Chris Collinsworth, Cardi B, Dave Portnoy. It is all there. So that's the fun one. And then obviously we're going to make some other picks. So wide open for 5, 6, and 7. Player prop, novelty, whatever you want to do, you can pick that up. So we're each going to be making 7 picks for the structured categories, and then 3 more wild cards. The order for this will be Jake leading off his team in the big game. He's the defending champ. The wheel is just. I will be picking second. Pat will be picking third, and then Connor on the end will be making the 2 picks as we come back. So Jake is defending champ. It's time to shine up that belt, put it on the line, and make your first selection as the defending champion of our Super Bowl prop draft for Coolbet. What do you got, buddy?
Yeah, here we go, boys. And listen, I was talking about this offline. I think the committee is trying to screw me with the way they laid out the format this year, but it's fine. I understand what the rules are, and I'm going to start right at the top of the board with the anytime touchdown score. I'm going to get it off the board so I don't have to worry about it the rest of the way. And I'm going to take my boy Stephon Diggs, anytime touchdown plus 259. Some pretty good value here on Diggs. He had a touchdown against the Texans a couple games ago. Obviously, that Broncos game was pretty ugly. There was only 2 touchdowns scored in that game as is. But I think, I look at Diggs and, I look at a situation like a guy aging in his career. I think about back to that Rams-Bengals Super Bowl, and OBJ catches a touchdown early in the football game for the Rams, and, he ends up getting hurt later. And, he still goes on to win a Super Bowl ring. I think it's a big time for Stephon Diggs. You remember, I know both of you remember Diggs staring at the Chiefs celebrating their AFC championship on the way to the Super Bowl and wondering what it was going to take for him to get there. He's got there. He's got his chance. I think he has a nice game for Drake May, and I think he finds the end zone. So some nice value. Stephon Diggs as my anytime touchdown scorer to lead off the prop draft.
Now, I have a whole whack of bets that are already placed that I can choose from right now, and I think there'll be a couple added as we go through this scenario. But I think I'm going to focus in on the player prop one right off the bat. And listen, I like Seattle in this game. Now, JSN has been such a massive part of this offense. He's the heavy favorite, player of the year offensively. The Patriots have a heck of a defense, and I think, Mike Vrabel's no dummy. Focusing on JSN, probably with Gonzalez or double coverage, is going to be probably job number one for this team, other than not getting run on. Which brings me to some other passing options for the New England Patriots. And I think the guy that I'm highest on that I'm going to take right off the bat so you guys don't get him is the Cooper Kupp receiving prop over. Kupp obviously has had injury issues over the last few years, and he's not the player that he was when he was arguably, one of the top 2-3 receivers. But he certainly has continued to be effective throughout the playoffs. And in a game like this, I think with the attention that JSN is going to get, I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty significant Cooper Kupp game. His receiving prop right now is 32.5. 37.5 is plus money at plus 112. I actually like him. I mean, over 40, up to 40 yards. And again, I would think long and hard about the 42.5 at plus 145. But to start off, my player prop is going to be Cooper Kupp over 32.5 receiving yards to take care of that category right off the bat. So Kupp over 32.5 is in. And Patty, a pick to you. And then Connor, you will be able to fire off your first two on the turn. Pat, what's first off the board for you?
Listen, both great bets. Jake, always like to see great guy Stephon Diggs be rewarded in a big game and have a big moment.
I didn't say great guy. I said my guy.
Class act Stephon Diggs. Us also think Kupp. He was on my board here, so really nice pick. But I'm going to go with the thinner or the most thin category here in the novelty bets. And you'll be thinking, okay, well, there's so many novelty bets. Yeah, you're right. But this one here is probably one of the most popular bets time and time again for Coolbet. And it's one of my favorite bets every big game, whether it's Super Bowl or Grey Cup. I'm going with the anthem, and I am going over 119.5 seconds. It's Charlie Puth who is doing the anthem this year. I don't know if you are aware of his game. The guy is a music savant. Like, if you watch his TikToks, the guy thinks of music on a scientific level. And also the over is 10-7-1 on national anthems at the Super Bowl, dating back all the way to Super Bowl 41. And here, I was trying to do some digging, and you couldn't really find all that many renditions. There was one recorded on a YouTube, but it was very basic, nothing as big as a stage as a Super Bowl or any sort of live event. But he did have a press conference this week, and here is what he said, or one of the quotes that he said. I want them to feel inspired. I want everyone to know that music is such an amazing thing and can change so many people's lives. That screams over. That screams, look at me, look at America. This is my moment, and I'm going to let it shine. He also said that his fellow statesman or stateswoman, Whitney Houston, they're both from New Jersey. He's just the second person from New Jersey to sing the anthem, and we all know how iconic that was. He said he's going to take a little bit of inspiration from that national anthem. This is over. This is over, city, and I could not be more happy to use my first pick on this one.
Listen, all you had to say was Whitney Houston. If there's any sort of a dedication to Whitney Houston, he'll be holding a couple notes extra long. So Patty's in on the over on the anthem in the novelty category. Now to producer Connor Rabchak, who will be holding his nose, watching the Seahawks in this game.
Yes, I will.
Connor, you've got two. So give us your first pick, and then you'll be leading off the second round as well.
Okay, well, with my first pick, I have the turn, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But I think there's quite a drop-off in the long shot category. There was one for me that was over 6-1 that I think is way more likely than anything else that I'm seeing on the long shot category, and it's in the record breakers. Any player to make a 58-plus yard field goal plus 650 is my first overall pick in the long shot category. Now, with the new kicking balls this year, teams are not only more willing to kick field goals of 58 plus yards, but more kickers are drilling them. And I know Jason Myers and Borregales aren't the longest. They're not Brandon Aubrey running out there kicking field goals. But for a record to be broken in the Super Bowl, I think that's the most likely one. Plus 650, getting the long shot out of the way. I don't really like the rest of the long shot board. So that is my first pick. I'll take any player.
That one.
Any player to
That's
make
a
a
great
58 plus yard field goal plus 650. And now I have the turn. I'll go back to the props, and I'm going to go JSN over 7.5 catches plus 115. I guess 6.5 might be within our odds limit. I don't know if we have an odds limit on something like that, but I'll go 7.5 plus 115. I think they're going to feature Jackson Smith and Jigba often and early in this game. And again, I think maybe the run game is where the Patriots can slow down the Seahawks a little bit. And with Sam Darnold cooking, we haven't seen big game Sam Darnold kind of falter yet. I think they're going to lean on their guy early. And I'm heavy on JSN props really across the board here. So I'm going to take his catches over as my first pick, the prop, or my second pick as I complete the turn here, Huss. Field goal, 58 plus yards, plus 650, and JSN catches over 7.5.
All right. So Connor's in. We've started off round number 2. Love that pick on the 58-yard field goal. I mean, just the nature of the game, I think, forces teams to consider some things that you don't normally do.
I just spent so much time on the long shot and didn't really, I just couldn't. Outside of that, I was struggling. But you guys will probably come up with something good. But
well, you know what? I'll sorry, Pat, you're up next, and then I will get to my my next pick. Returning into round 2 is Pat Gregoire after his anthem over to lead things off.
Oh, listen, everyone knows Anthem. That's usually one of my favorite bets, especially when it comes to novelty. Doesn't matter if it's a big game, small game, medium game. Everyone knows I love my rushing yardage props for quarterbacks. And this guy has been cashing tickets all season long. When I've been in the dumps or when I've been on a heater, Drake May has made me a lot of money when it comes to his rushing yards. And to avoid Jake Bolin Moss from crying in his buffalo chicken dip wing at his party, Drake May is going to have to use his legs here. And I think he has used it in the playoffs as well. 66 yards against the Chargers, 65 against the Broncos. And if the Patriots are going to want to move the ball against this elite Seattle defense, he's going to have to take off and run. Whether it's design runs or going off script, May has to cook with his legs. And I think this probably should be in the 40s, to be quite frank. It's not, so I'm going to take it at 37.5, minus 115. Give it to me for my prop pick.
Awesome. Drake May, over 37.5 rushing yards. I mean, Patty, considering over the course of the year of WST Winners, how many quarterback over rushing totals you've taken, it would have been borderline sacrilegious had we
negligent if you didn't go with one there.
Exactly. Jake, by the way, are you jotting these ones down as we're making the picks?
I am. I think I'm doing a pretty good job so
too.
far, but we're all good here on my end, Huss.
Perfect. I'm just not getting the numbers, but we'll see. Pat just needs to reconnect. Not a big deal. We've got some picks to make. It's back to me. And you know what? I'll go and get my long shot pick out of the game. You know, it was difficult, going through trying to find things that were 6-1. I mean, you can do first or last touchdown score or some of the others, but I actually like an alt prop on the Seahawks to win this game. And, listen, I'm not sure that we're going to have as close a game as maybe a lot of people would like. Certainly, I'm comfortable with the Seahawks on the spread at minus 4.5. But I do think that they are the better team, and I think it's significant. So I'm going to take the margin of victory prop for the Seahawks, and it's Seahawks to win by 13 to 18 points, and that is plus 600. So for the long shot, give me Seattle in that window, winning by 13 to 18 points at the plus 600 number that we deemed as the threshold for the long shot pick. So there you have it. Seattle by 13 to 18. And I'll get that one in and take that one off on the category. All right, Jake, 2 picks back to you.
Yeah, really awesome, sick prop you had there, Huss. Love that one. If Seattle crushes New England, I'm going to be pretty upset because I know that's going to be the story of Monday is going to be, well, Patriots should have never been there to begin with. Anyways, I didn't want to get into it right now. Okay, couple long shots off the board. Now I can hold, assuming, I'm going to keep one of those long shots. I didn't, the ones that you guys picked weren't on mine, believe it or not. I did like the one Connor laid out, though. I might be added to my card. I'm going to get my novelty out of the way. I don't have a ton of novelty, and I did this last year. You know what they say about the coin flip, boys? Tails never fails.
No.
I'm going to take the coin toss. Patty is Mr. Anthem. I was waiting for him because I listened to the same Charlie Booth interview yesterday, and I was like, you know what? Patty's definitely going to take the anthem. I'm going to leave that to him. I'm going to roll back, run it back, same way we did last year. Tails never fails. I'm going coin toss, tails. That's even money at Coolbet if you like heads or tails. No vig on the coin toss this year. So I'm going to roll with that as my novelty prop. And then I think I'm going to get into the wild card realm. I got some props, player props that I like. I know a couple of you guys took player props off the board already. I'm going to get into the novelty. Another one that I bet last year, I just can't shy away from, this bet. Over 2.5 players to attempt a pass, plus 145. This is when you dial everything up. This is the last game of the year. There's nothing left in the tank. There's nothing left in the bag of tricks. So, McDaniels he was doing some silly stuff in Denver with that bad weather. It was driving me nuts. It's going to be a lot better weather. I think we could see one other player throw a pass. So we see Darnold throw a pass. We see May throw a pass. And then, whether it's JSN or Cup or, one of the New England receivers, we're going to find out. But hopefully we get that third pass attempt and we cash that ticket. Plus money, too. I really like the number, plus 145.
All right, so we got that one in here. We're now into round 3. Now, I'm not sure if this is really a novelty bet. You know what? I'm going to take this, and you guys can figure out whether this counts in the novelty or whether I put it in the wild card. Listen, we've talked a lot about the Seattle defense. I think that the lights are going to be very bright on Drake May early on. There's some thoughts about his shoulder, too. I'm not sure that the Patriots just get the football and start running up and down the field. I love this prop, and I've made one of my bigger bets for the game on this one. And it is to happen first for the New England Patriots. A punt before scoring points. It's a really interesting prop, and it's in the specials, I believe. And it's just the 2 options. What will a team do first? Punt or score? Now, to me, there's 2 options here. They're either getting the football at the 30 or the 35 right off the bat. And, you're still looking at 30, 40 yards right off the bat to even get into a field goal position. I think there's also the possibility that the Seahawks start. I mean, they're not a team that's going for it on 4th down. They punt a lot. They play field position. And that could mean for a long field for New England. So minus 123, New England to punt before they score points. Now, is that a novelty, or should I just put that in the wild card?
Listen, I would consider that novelty, just considering that that's not a bet that normally Coolbet has like for every single game. I know novelty, a lot of people think, okay, it's got to be something wacky and weird, like a pregame bet, like a coin flip, a Bad Bunny or something like that. I'm okay with that being in novelty. I don't know, Jake, what do you think?
Yeah, I was looking at one, more in like the specials category, but it's team specials. I think it's different. Like, we don't usually have the team specials tab, like Patty mentioned. So I'm fine with it. Like, I'm not gonna, you know what? I'm not gonna push back like you guys.
I'll tell you what, just because I know that Jake's gonna be in a bad mood after this entire exercise and game.
Unbelievable.
I'll put this one in the wild card because okay. I do have another one from the actual specials that I do like. So any punt before points, before score, minus 123. All right, and I'll sit on this one for when we come back on the turn. Pat, to you, and then Connor, you got a pair.
Listen, a lot of people have talked about JSN and for good reason, right? He is making a case that he's the best wide receiver on the planet. He was unbelievable last week, and I imagine Vrabel's going to try to scheme everything, double coverage, triple coverage, you name it. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at him. Unfortunately for the Patriots, I just think he is too good of a player where he's going to find a way to get his. I'm shocked that this number isn't juicier. Maybe that just goes with the fact that the Patriots defense is very strong, but I'll use my touchdown scorer, JSN anytime TD minus 106.
All right. Anytime TD, JSN minus 106. All right. To the turn we go. Connor, a pair from you.
All right. There's a little bit of strategy involved here because, there's kind of this shock here of how many picks are going between me. I'm like, oh my God, everything's coming off the board. So I'm going to go to novelty and I'm going to take, I don't know. I have a feeling about this one. He just won album of the year at the Grammys. I'm going to a Bad Bunny prop. Total global viewership of the halftime show over 135.5 million people. I think Bad Bunny, global superstar. People from all across the world are going to be tuning in. Just won album of the year at the Grammys, like I said. I think that's going to boost the viewership. I think people who maybe aren't locked into the game for Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift reasons like they were last year are going to be tuning into the halftime show maybe than the rest of the game. And again, this is going to be close. There's really no science behind this one. It's probably going to be in that range, but I think Bad Bunny is one of those people that can command a massive number in terms of rating. So I'm going to go with that for my novelty. And then touchdown scorer, I was going to go there. Anytime touchdowns, where is it? I just want to make sure I have the number right. Diggs and JSN are off the board. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that. That's what I have written down.
That's correct.
I'm going to go with Ramondre Stevenson, plus 138. They've kind of phased Travion Henderson out of the offense here in the playoffs as a rookie. I mean, he's still getting touches, but it's been more Ramondre than it was in the regular season. When they get into the red zone, when they're looking to punch it in from inside the 5, I think that's what's going to happen there. So I'm going to take Ramondre Stevenson plus 138 as my anytime touchdown scorer.
Perfect. All right. So we got the JSN. The Bad Bunny over
Bad Bunny,
135.
global
I like
viewership.
that one for novelty. Yeah. And then the Stevenson. And you mentioned Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I will take the opportunity now that you brought them up. Not as much about Taylor, but Pat. Did you see that dart that Kelce threw on 16 at the
Unbelievable, man.
This guy not do. He's playing with the level of confidence in life that we can only dream of having. That was unbelievable.
Silky smooth, like real nice swing too. Like it was a nice swing, nice. Yeah, unbelievable, man. Guy's got it all.
All right. Okay. I guess I'll go to this novelty prop. I'll get this one off the board. Now, I mean, there is the fun. We talked about the Chris Collinsworth to say, now here's a guy at minus 250. I mean, you can take that pretty chalky. But I alluded to this one, I think, yesterday on WST. I can't get away from this Bill Belichick to attend the game with Jordan Hudson prop. Now, I have a theory that Bill Belichick probably does not want to be there, probably does not want to be watching the Patriots on the verge of it. He may very well be cheering for Seattle, to be honest with you, though, considering the way things have gone between he and his former team. But I don't think Bill Belichick has any say in the matter. Based on what we know about their relationship, there is a clear hierarchy of decision makers, and Jordan Hudson is the one that is calling the shots. And if you don't think that Jordan Hudson is going to make a point of finding herself into the spotlight with the greatest coach in NFL history and all the talk about him not getting into the Hall of Fame, you're crazy. So give me Bill Belichick to attend game with Jordan Hudson at plus 200 for my novelty pick in the draft.
Love it. I love it. You're right. Billy B doesn't call the shots anymore. He might call the shots at UNC on the sidelines, but when it comes to his personal life, it's Jordan, and she wants to be seen. Yes. She wants to be seen. I like that.
Okay, Jake, we're back to you for a pair.
Hold on. We missed Patty, Huss. We missed Patty.
Did we?
Yeah, I think
Connor
I
had
got
his
jumped.
2, and then it didn't.
I think I got
you
jumped.
Jumped him, Huss.
Sorry
That's all
about
right. He
that.
already had his novelty.
It's
not
okay.
a huge deal.
That's good.
But-
I'll make
Okay.
my other pick, and then we'll go to
We're-
John.
Pat and then Jake for 2. I'm screwing this up. Sorry.
No, we're
You're
good. We're
You're
good. We're good. Long shots seem to be coming off the board pretty quickly, but then again, a long shot can be a wild card pick, and the other pick that I'm looking at is a wild card pick. So what do I want to do here? I think this could be a popular wild card pick. It is another touchdown score. I guess, can a touchdown score be a wild card pick, or does it have to be? Oh,
anything.
sorry.
Yeah, you could do another touchdown.
Can it be a long shot pick, or does that also count?
Is it over 6-1?
It's well over 6-1.
Yeah, for sure. Long
I'll
shots,
count.
anything over 6-1.
I'll count this as my long shot then, I guess. Rashid Shaheed, anytime TD 18-1. I think that we could see this as a kickoff return. We could have a Devin Hester moment here, or this could be a long bomb pass that he catches. I know he hasn't been nearly involved in the offense as much as maybe a lot of Seahawks fans would have liked, or even just people who have been betting him week in and week out. But I think there is a big play coming. Don't know where it's coming, but I just feel like Shaheed's going to make his presence felt, and I think it's going to be in a touchdown. So 18-1. I was shocked to see how big this
Hold
number
on,
was.
though. That's first touchdown, though, Patty. Is anytimes plus 339.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I'll take his anytime, which is what,
339. I was going to say, that's a crazy number.
No. That's yeah. Okay. I had it written down as first time here. That is a crazy time. That would be a crazy. That's why I would have been shocked. I'll go though. You know what? Scrap it. I'm going to go completely off the board now. DeMarcus Lawrence sack plus 125. That'll be my wild card pick. Drake May been sacked 15 times in 3 games this postseason. And I think Lawrence already has 2 sacks in 3 games in the playoffs so far. And both those actually have been strip sacks as well.
All right. So Lawrence sack plus 125. Jake, that's to you with the pair.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to type all these down. I was starting the Rashid Shaheed, and I'm like, wait, that can't be right. Anyways, okay. DeMarcus Lawrence sack. I got it. That's gonna be Patty. Okay, I got 2 on the swing here. Long shot. I got some options at the long shot. I still got some options at the player prop. I'm gonna go back down to the wild card. And another, listen, I'm trying to find some fun stuff. I'm trying to find some interesting stuff. I'm going to go, will there be a 2-point conversion attempt? So I have the over 2.5 players attempt. Now I'm going 2-point conversion attempt. It could be any situation where a 2-point conversion comes into play. Teams trying to get back in the game late. All we need is an attempt here. We don't even need a successful 2-point conversion, and we're getting plus money. So plus 138, you never know what could happen. Something happens to a kicker. I don't wish injury upon anybody, but I think there's a world we could absolutely see a 2-point conversion in this game. I'm going to take the plus money there. So that'll be my wild card 2. Will there be a 2-point conversion attempt? And then my second pick on the swing, I guess I'll go to my long shot and have some fun here with this one. Listen, I went through some fun bets yesterday as I was going through all this, but this is kind of, similar kicking motion as Connor, but a little bit of a different route. I'm going to go any PAT or field goal to hit the crossbar or goalpost. We need a doink, baby. 7-1 on the doink. And that's in the kicking area of the Coolbet big game tab there. So I'm going to go any PAT or field goal to hit a crossbar or goalpost. Yes, 7-1 in the kicking category. For my long shot. Sorry.
That is such a great Super Bowl prop. And that is what the Super Bowl is all about. A doink prop where the most benign play, can be the game could be 4 touchdown difference and you'll get out of your seat if there's a doink on a convert or a field goal. So Jake's back in. That's back to me. I'm going to go to one of the wild cards, and I'm going to take another player prop. I believed in this guy all year. He's taken his team to the Super Bowl. No way I could not have a piece of my guy, Sammy Darts. Sam Darnold, this is a very vanilla, simple one. Sam Darnold over 229.5 passing yards at minus 115. Let the man eat. Let him win his ring. I wouldn't be surprised. He's the most likely guy to get the MVP, but just straight up passing yards, Sam Darnold over 239. Pat, that's back to you. And then Connor.
I really like that one. I'm going to go with Sammy Darts. We know he's got quite the arm, and what a story he's been. But I'm going to go with my legs here on another wild card. Sam Darnold over 2.5 rushing attempts at plus 100. New England is giving up about 4 rushing attempts and under 19 yards per game to quarterbacks. Patriots given up 91 rushing yards to quarterbacks in 3 playoff games, which each time the quarterback's given up 11 yards. You might think it'd be better for Sammy Darts just to take the over on his rushing yards, but with it only being 3, 2 kneel down attempts at the end of the game, a kneel down attempt at halftime, this number makes 0 sense. He might have 1 or 2 runs where he's going to have to just get out the pocket, get out of trouble. I could see this being like 5 rushing attempts with all the kneels. So the fact that we're getting plus money on this is crazy to me. It might be a little sweaty at the end, but if this is going to be a blowout or even a game within a couple of scores, Darnold might be taking a couple of knees. So all we need is basically 1 or 2 runs and we're golden.
All right. So back-to-back Darnold props. Connor, to you. You've got all your categories filled. So fire away with a couple of picks. Anything on the board?
Yeah, I'm on to my wild cards, Huss. So I'm going to take the one you alluded to earlier, Chris Collinsworth, to say, now here's a guy, minus 250. No way this won't be on my card when we get to the Super Bowl. So that's one of them. And then my second wild card, I'm going to go to the player head-to-head props. And I'm going to take Sam Darnold to have more passing yards than Drake May. When I looked at it last night, minus 133, very similar to you, Huss, with the Darnold over passing yards. I think Sam Darnold's been cooking throughout these playoffs. I'm heavy on all of these JSN props. And if JSN's going to have a huge night, so is Sam Darnold. So I'm tying it all together here with all my JSN props and Sam Darnold to have more passing yards than Drake May. I think the Patriots might be able to slow down the run game. And I think JSN, Shaheed, all the weapons, Cooper Kupp, you took his yardage prop earlier, Huss. That all ties back to Sam Darnold. So I'm going to take him to have more passing yards than Drake May.
Love it. All right, Patty, back to you. You still need a long shot and 1 more open square.
All right, I'll use my long shot here. Any defensive player to win MVP at the Super Bowl. A lot of talk about, how great the defenses are. Patriots defense, legit. Seahawks defense, one of the best defenses in the game. But when it comes to MVP, everyone is only saying Drake May, Sammy Darts, maybe JSN sprinkled in there. Why not the defenses? Could we not see a world where someone on the defensive side of the ball wins it? And the fact that it's a long shot bet here, I like it. So give me a defensive player to win the MVP at 7-1.
All right. I have a this could have been one. I could have put this one into my actually, you know what? I'm going to fill the wild card spot and then I'll figure out the touchdown score. Well, you know what? I'm going to take this guy. Okay, we've talked about JSN. I do think that Sam is going to be looking at a few other guys. There is a reception prop for a guy that has been getting some looks the last couple games that really sort of stood out to me. The reception number for Jake Bobo is not there anymore. Am I missing that? Do you guys see it? The Jake Bobo reception prop? It was yesterday. It was over a half at plus 170. And now I do not see it. I wonder why that might be off the board.
He's over a half plus 163 yards, Huss. It's probably what you were looking
over
at.
Over half a yard?
Him in the over half a yard plus 163.
Yard, yeah.
Literally 1 yard.
Okay. We'll take that off. So Bobo over 0.5 yards receiving, plus 163. That must have been what it is. So yes, can he get a yard? Can he make a catch? I was considering the anytime touchdown for Bobo. It's just about 10-1. We'll just throw that out there. But Jake, we're back to you, and you have what two picks left, one player prop and one long shot.
No, I had my long shot. That was the crossbar. I think I have one wild card and then one.
Oh, sorry, I put
prop.
that in the wrong one. Okay, doink.
All good. Okay, I'm going to start with my last wild card. I've laid the biggest bet of the big game so far on this bet. And listen, you guys are talking a lot about points, and you think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. I think early on it's going to be a chess match, and I think we could be a big feeling out process. Both defenses has been really solid. These are like top 10 scoring defenses, top 5 scoring defenses in the league, and both in the top 6 in first half scoring defense. So I'm going to go first half total under 22.5 at -115 as my final wild card pick. And then player prop. Listen, Patty spoke about it. I'm going to take a sack for my player prop. It's a little different than what I usually do, but I thought this was a really good number. And considering that Drake May has been sacked 5 times in all 3 of his playoff games, like Patty said, 15 times, I'm going to go Boye Mafe to record a sack plus 449. Like I said, Drake May has been sacked a ton. Mafe was 8th in pass rush win rate this season at 19%. So I think when he gets in there on big down, I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up a sack in this game.
Okay, so that closes that out. And I'm on my final pick. It is our last round, and then we'll go check out the golf over on the Coolbet YouTube channel. Anytime touchdown. I'm going to double down on this guy. I made him my first pick for the player prop. And as far as available players right now, I'm going to ride with Cooper Kupp. Give me Cooper Kupp plus 243 to get into the end zone as well in the big game. Kupp plus 243. Patty, your final pick. Both of you guys wide open. One more wild card for you and then one for Connor.
Listen, I was heavy on Drake May, but I also realize Drake May this playoffs has been a little bit careless with the ball. Has a case of the fumbleitis. I think he's fumbled 6 times, has lost the fumble 3 times. There is a market here for player fumbles. To record a lost fumble, Drake May plus 400. I also talked about how much he's been sacked. There's a good chance he might lose a fumble here in this game. 4-1 will wrap up my picks. Will be my last wild card pick.
Excellent. I was looking at that one as well. So Drake May to lose a fumble plus 400. Connor, one final pick for you. What else intrigues you on the board that you want to put a little sprinkle down on?
Well, thank you guys for including me in this. And as my rookie lap with this Super Bowl, I feel like I need to swing for the fences on the wild card here. Seattle Seahawks to attempt to pass from the 1-yard line plus 700. I'm taking that as my final wild card pick. It's juicy. It was on the board for me as my long shot as well. Absolutely love it, with this game being a rematch from the 2014 Super Bowl, where we all know how that one ended. So I'm going to take the Seahawks to attempt to pass from the 1-yard line.
Do it again.
Do it again. They're doing it again. I'm swinging big.
Redemption.
Game, that number should be about 70-1, considering the history between these two.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now, gang, head over. Do not forget, if you haven't, take advantage of that Super Bowl bonus. Any deposit up to $60. You'll get 100% bonus, just a one-time rollover too. Very, very nice bonus from the fellas for the big game. Use WST SB60 when you're putting that in. And the picks are up. Jake, I imagine you'll probably try and put together a graphic like we did last year, and we can throw this out for people to have a bit of a cheat sheet. And then, as we did last year, we'll just imagine the same unit on every one of the plays. And whoever ends up with the biggest number at the end will be the champion for the Super Bowl prop bet.
Yeah, I'll try to send you guys a full list just to confirm that I have everything right. I got a little dicey there. Connor, one question. Collingsworth,
yes.
You went yes to say here's a guy, or
yes. No? Yes, I did.
Yes.
It's minus 250, I believe.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, perfect. I think I should have them all, but I'll send them over to you guys before I put up a graphic.
Sweet.
Excellent, gang. Of course, you can hit us up with thoughts on it on X throughout the weekend at Jake Bolin Moss, at P. Greggy, at Hustlerama, and of course at Connor Rabchak. We will post these up. We'll get them out there. And most importantly, what a great season it's been. Enjoy the game. Huge thanks to you guys. I mean, man, it's been so much fun. WST Winners isn't going anywhere. I think we may have to fire up some Olympic content next week as we get through it. We got Blue Jays coming up later on. We got the hockey playoffs. So we'll still continue doing this, but there's nothing like the structured NFL season with the Friday shows. So, huge thanks to Connor. Did an amazing job all year long producing these on Friday mornings. And, of course, to you guys, we'll look forward to chopping it up together next week, talking Olympic hockey. In the meantime, though, let's hope for a great game. Let's hope for many winners on the board for all the prop bets. And, of course, we'll talk more about this on WST today, coming up at 1:00 p.m. But in the meantime, gang, don't go anywhere. If you're with us on YouTube, we're going to kick it over to the Coolbet YouTube channel. Real fun new piece of content. Adam Svensson, Coolbet ambassador from the PGA Tour, going head-to-head against Brett Lawther and Andrew Walker. Check that out. Leave a comment. Give a thumbs up as well. Help us spread the algorithm. And enjoy the Super Bowl. For Connor, for Jake, for Pat, I'm Huss. We'll see you at 1 for WST. And enjoy the Super Bowl. May the winners be yours.